Bang! The crystal champagne flute explodes against the marble fireplace of Clarence's house. Princess Margaret stands frozen, her silk evening gown trembling as champagne drips down the wall like golden tears. "Your Royal Highness," Captain Peter Townsend whispers from across the room, his RAF uniform still pristine despite the emotional wreckage between them. She doesn't turn around, she can't. Because if she looks at him, really looks at him, she'll crumble completely. 3 seconds ago, her world was perfect. Now, everything she's ever wanted is slipping through her fingers like sand. Let's rewind to understand how we got here. It's 1955. Post-war Britain is rebuilding, and the monarchy needs to be spotless. No scandals, no drama. The crown's reputation is everything. Princess Margaret Rose, 25, beautiful, rebellious, has always been the spare, never the heir. While her sister Elizabeth wears the crown, Margaret gets to live a little. Or so she thought. She's been secretly in love with Peter Townsend for 3 years. He's 16 years older, a war hero, divorced with 2 sons. To Margaret, he's everything. Sophisticated, experienced, devastatingly handsome in that Hugh Grant sort of way. But there's one massive problem. The Royal Marriages Act of 1772. Any royal under 25 needs the monarch's permission to marry. And if they're over 25, Parliament has to approve it. And Parliament will never approve a divorced man marrying into the royal family. The trap is closing. Margaret paces her bedroom at Clarence's house, her mind racing. The press has caught wind of the romance. Photos of them together are splashed across every newspaper in Britain. Headlines scream, "Margaret's forbidden love," and will she choose love or duty? Her lady-in-waiting, Lady Glenconnor, watches nervously from the corner. "Ma'am, perhaps if you spoke to Her Majesty again." "Spoke to her?" Margaret whirls around, her eyes blazing. "My sister has made it perfectly clear. The cabinet, the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Prime Minister, they're all against us." She collapses into her velvet armchair, suddenly looking fragile. "They say I can marry him, but only if I renounce my claim to the throne, my royal income, my entire life." In her mind, she's screaming, "Why must I choose between love and everything I've ever known?" Meanwhile, Peter Townsend is fighting his own battle. In his modest flat in Rosemary Lane, Peter stares at the newspaper headlines. His hands shake as he reads the brutal editorials calling him a fortune hunter and homewrecker. His teenage sons look at him with confusion and hurt. "Dad, why are people saying such horrible things about you?" his younger son asks. Peter's jaw tightens. He served his country, flew dangerous missions in the war, earned the Distinguished Flying Cross. Now he's being painted as a villain for falling in love. He thinks, "I could end this. I could walk away and spare her the pain, but God help me, I love her too much." The pressure reaches a breaking point. Prime Minister Anthony Eden sits across from Margaret in the drawing room at Buckingham Palace. His face is granite hard. "Your Royal Highness, you must understand the position this puts the government in. The Church of England does not recognize divorce. You would be marrying a divorced man in a registry office. The scandal would be considerable." Margaret's fingers dig into the arms of her chair. "And if I renounce my rights, you would lose your civil list allowance, your income from the state. You would no longer be able to live in royal residences. Your children would have no claim to the succession. You would essentially cease to be royal." The words hit her like physical blows. Everything she's ever been, ever known, hanging in the balance. The final confrontation. Back at Clarence's house, Margaret and Peter face each other across an impossible chasm. The room feels electric with unspoken words. "They want me to choose," she whispers, her voice barely audible, "between you and everything." Peter steps forward, his face etched with pain. "Margaret, my darling, I won't let you sacrifice your life for me. I won't be responsible for taking away your birthright. But I love you." The words rip from her throat. "I love you more than titles, more than money, more than your family, more than your duty to your country." His voice is gentle but firm. "Because that's what this really is, isn't it? They're not just asking you to give up material things. They're asking you to abandon who you are." She realizes with devastating clarity, he's right. This isn't about love conquering all. This is about the monarchy's survival in a changing world. The breaking point. Margaret walks to her escritoire and pulls out a piece of royal stationery. Her hand trembles as she begins to write. "I would like it to be known that I have decided not to marry Group Captain Peter Townsend." Each word feels like she's carving it into her own heart. Peter watches from behind her, his reflection ghost-like in the window glass. "The memories we made," he says softly. "No one can take those away." She turns, tears streaming down her face. "Will they be enough? For the rest of my life? Will they be enough?" He doesn't answer. Because they both know the truth. The devastating finale. The official statement is released on October 31st, 1955. Halloween. How fitting. I have decided not to marry Group Captain Peter Townsend. I have been conscious that in reaching this decision, I have been influenced by the Church's teaching that Christian marriage is indissoluble, and conscious of my duty to the Commonwealth. The public words are noble, dutiful, proper. The private reality is a woman choosing duty over her heart's deepest desire. Peter is quietly transferred to a post in Brussels. Margaret throws herself into royal duties with desperate intensity. Years later, she'll marry photographer Anthony Armstrong Jones in a blaze of publicity. But those who knew her well will always see the shadow in her eyes, the ghost of the love she sacrificed on the altar of royal obligation. The haunting epilogue. Decades pass. Margaret's marriage to Armstrong Jones crumbles in scandal and divorce. The very thing she'd been forbidden to do with the man she truly loved. Peter Townsend marries a young Belgian woman and finds happiness in a quieter life. But sometimes at royal gatherings, Margaret's eyes will grow distant, and those who remember will know she's thinking of a war hero who loved her enough to let her go. The cruel irony, the very institution she sacrificed her happiness to protect, would eventually embrace divorced royals. Charles would marry Camilla, a divorced woman. William and Harry would marry commoners. But for Margaret, born too early into a world not yet ready to bend, duty came at the ultimate price, her heart's true love. The crystal champagne flute lies shattered on the marble floor, its pieces catching the light like tears that refuse to fall. Some sacrifices echo through generations, some choices haunt forever, and sometimes protecting the crown means breaking the heart that beats beneath it.